Yeah, look, man, I think for Golden State, we're seeing Shams, go on TV and say the Warriors are looking for a playmaking wing and a true center. It's like, good luck. I mean, I like the playmaking wing. How many of those are there? They're top 10, top 20 players in the NBA. And like, with what? Are you gonna trade Jonathan Kuminga in a sign and trade? Well, then you need a team who wants Kuminga at 25, 30 million. Are you gonna flip Butler? I can't imagine that. Butler also isn't trade eligible until August 6th because of the 2-year contract extension he signed. So for Golden State, man, look, I'm not going to sit here and say, told you so, because I was wrong. I mean, I was wrong to say they should blow it up because of the success they had. Like, they were very good after they got Jimmy Butler. But everything I was concerned about at the time, Tom, I do think was fair. I do think I was concerned about how this is an aging team and how aging teams' injuries start to happen. Hamstring injury for really the first time in Steph's career. That's concerning. Draymond Green, unable to stop Julius Randle. I mean, like, he wasn't even great in the series against Houston after an unbelievable game 2 or 3 against Alperen Şengün. After that, Şengün figured him out. Draymond is not the same guy he was before. Jimmy Butler is not the same guy he was 2+ years ago. Stephen Curry cannot be relied on to be the guy he was in the prime of his career either. And so I just, seeing this story play out, like the comparison I had in that article I wrote back in January or February was about the early 10 Celtics when Danny Ainge traded Kevin Garnett, traded Paul Pierce right before they fell off a cliff. And it led to everything we've seen this last 10 years with the picks they got from the Nets. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, 10 straight playoff appearances. And obviously now Tatum's out with a ruptured Achilles, but it's been an amazing run for the Celtics. And that's all because of the decision to trade Pierce and Garnett. The hardest decision led to this amazing reward the last decade. And for the Warriors, my concern was extending this out leads to the opposite of that. And that is a lot of years of sadness. And we'll see. We'll see. They were very good to close the season. They made the second round of the playoffs. Maybe they beat Minnesota if Stephen Curry never gets hurt. And then they have a matchup in the Western Conference Finals against Denver or Oklahoma City. And who knows how that would have played out. Maybe it all would have led to a championship again anyway. I don't think so, though. And that's largely due to my skepticism based off of reality the last 10 years about the guy they chose in Jimmy Butler to be the guy to lift up and help lift up Stephen Curry and Draymond Green. So I just don't see it, Tom. And it's a big offseason for them, man. There are no signs. I'm hearing zip, zada, zilch that they're going to try to trade away these guys. They're going to double down on this. They're going to try to keep building it. I just don't know for who. But do you have anybody in mind like that you would target for the Warriors as somebody to help assist this core?
I mean, I know there was a lot of talk about Vooch at the deadline about how Vooch would step in.
Vooch!
But I'm saying if you're looking for a center, I think he's on an expiring deal. Would that make any sense?
Expiring with the Bulls.
Yeah. Josh Giddey, I'm just saying you need a playmaking wing.
Why are the Bulls trading Giddey?
I don't know. If you really believe in Jonathan Kuminga and the fact that he averaged like 30 points in the last 3 games of this series and he showed out, maybe you
the Kuminga truthers, like, they are out loud and proud about Kuminga closing that series.
I don't know what I don't think Joe Lacob is trading Kuminga. I think he has.
You really don't think so? You see the Lacob quote? Lacob was like, people say we had bad picks. They weren't bad picks. I was like, yeah, they were bad picks. They were
You can't argue. James Wiseman at number 2, you can't. And Moody and Kuminga, like, if I looked up the hit rate on those, it's 0 for 3. It's 0 for 3. I mean, Kuminga, they can't rely on him in big playoff moments until they have to break the glass and bring out Kuminga, and then it's too late. Like, Steve Kerr had very little faith in Kuminga this season. And for you to say like, oh, he's young, he's coming into his own, we're okay. I don't know. If Steve Kerr is not really betting on this guy to play big minutes for a team that's trying to win, I don't think that can be considered a win. And James Wiseman, that was one of the worst picks I can remember a really good team making. They had such a great opportunity there at the number 2 slot, either trading it out. I remember I was advocating. I was like, trade out of that and get a guy like Pascal Siakam. And Warriors fans laughed at me. They're like, watch what happens when James Wiseman develops on this team. He is going to be a monster in this system. And obviously it didn't work out, but that's the kind of hype that you could have gotten at the number 2 slot in that draft. Instead, they drafted him, and then they were able to get Kuminga and Moses Moody. And I don't think they've gotten much return at all with those picks.
I mean, in some regards, like, not to, rehash on James Wiseman as the 2020 selection. I understand the Warriors' idea of what they need next to Draymond, because Draymond should not be having to defend Alperen Şengün for a full series and Julius Randle for a full series and be the only guy they can rely on to defend these big, bruising, skilled players. Getting a big would make a lot of sense for Draymond's sake and for the entire system's sake, if you give that guy to Stephen Curry in the half court as well on the offensive end. So Wiseman made sense. The idea of Wiseman made sense. The idea of Quentin Post makes sense as a big floor spacer who can, offer theoretical size. But those are the right ideas, the wrong players. And like you're hearing, like you mentioned, Vooch, he can't defend, but maybe for the Warriors, he can at least offer size. I hear people mention Brook Lopez. He just turned 37.
Yeah.
Brook Lopez is 37. Like, we're talking about Steph having hammy issues right now, Draymond going through stuff throughout the year, Jimmy Butler, who misses 20 games every year, and you're telling me Brook Lopez? Like, come on. Let's be serious. We don't want a retirement home here in Golden State. If you want to try to win, you got to look for other solutions here with your future picks. So, like, Miles Turner, are we sure he's going to leave Indiana? I know he's a free agent, but why would he leave the Pacers? They're their second straight Eastern Conference Finals. No signs of slowing down anytime soon with these young guys getting better every year. They could be here year in, year out. Why would Miles Turner leave the Pacers? Like, why?
There's
why?
It doesn't make any sense. Zero reason why he would leave. I mean, why would you go to the Western Conference when you're in the East and you have a potential to go to the NBA Finals?
No kidding.
And Giannis, he might go to the Western Conference. Like, if you're Indiana, anybody on Indiana, Miles Turner, I'm locking myself in long term with Indiana. Yes. You could be in the NBA Finals for like 3 years running just because there's no one else in the East.
Give me a 10-year contract. I know it's not allowed, but let's sign it under the table. Come on. I'll finish my career out here in the East and win every freaking year. I just don't see the obvious solutions for the Warriors, man. And I mean, I just look forward to seeing what they do, maybe more than any other team in the entire league this offseason.